When Sarah Heller and her partner Chris Idem first learned they were going to become parents, their hearts were filled with the same mix of excitement and nervous anticipation that most expecting couples feel. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video. They imagined baby clothes, little shoes, midnight lullabies, and all the chaos and joy that comes with bringing new life into the world. But their joyful expectations would soon be shaken when, during what was supposed to be a routine 24-week ultrasound, doctors delivered news that no parent is ever ready to hear. There, on the screen, in the hazy black and white shadows of the ultrasound, something appeared that made the room grow uncomfortably quiet. The doctor hesitated before explaining, his tone clinical yet heavy. Their unborn son, whom they had already lovingly named Brody, had a bilateral cleft lip and palate. For Sarah and Chris, the words landed like stones. They had heard of the condition, but never thought it would be their reality. The doctor went on, explaining the potential complications, difficulties with eating, drinking, speaking, even breathing. Then came the question that left them stunned. Did they want to continue the pregnancy or consider terminating it? For Sarah and Chris, there was no pause, no wavering in their hearts. The thought of abandoning their child simply because he would look different or face challenges was unthinkable. They exchanged a glance, filled with silent resolve. Their son was theirs, no matter what. They would love him, raise him, fight for him, and face every obstacle alongside him. Without hesitation, they told the doctor they wanted to continue the pregnancy. But saying yes was only the beginning of the journey. Sarah quickly realized that their choice would not only test their strength as parents, but would also thrust them into a world where judgment, misunderstanding, and ignorance could cut as deeply as any medical condition. Still, Sarah and Chris refused to hide. In fact, they did the opposite. They made a bold choice to be open, to share their son's journey, and to show the world that every child is worthy of love. When Brody was born, his cleft lip and palate were as the doctors had predicted, but to his parents, he was perfect. His tiny hands, his little eyes, his cry, it all belonged to the baby they had dreamed about. Rather than shielding him from the world, Sarah began posting photos of Brody on social media. She wanted to normalize what others might see as different, to reshape the way people think about children born with clefts. It is okay to be proud of your baby no matter the circumstances, she often said. She wanted Brody's story to shine as an example for others who might one day face the same decision they did. Of course, not everyone who saw the photos responded with kindness. Some strangers asked cruel or thoughtless questions. "What's wrong with his face?" they would write, as if his appearance erased his humanity. But instead of meeting anger with anger, Sarah chose education. She would patiently explain Brody's condition and use every question as an opportunity to spread awareness. "I decided to educate rather than create a confrontation," she explained, "because that is what I want Brody to do in the future. I want him to be an advocate for younger cleft kids who don't have their own voice yet." And while there were harsh moments, there were also moments of extraordinary kindness that reminded Sarah and Chris they were not alone. One evening, while dining in a restaurant, a stranger quietly handed Sarah a folded piece of paper. Inside was a check for 10. On the memo line were 5 simple words that made tears stream down her face. For the beautiful baby. It was more than money. It was a message, a recognition that Brody was more than his condition, that he was loved, cherished, and deserving of every opportunity. The gift helped cover Brody's growing medical expenses, including the surgeries he needed to repair his cleft lip and palate. The surgeries were not easy, but Brody proved himself to be as resilient as the love that surrounded him. One by one, he faced the procedures with courage, healing quickly, and learning to eat and smile with greater ease. While there are still surgeries ahead, his progress has been nothing short of remarkable. Today, Brody is a lively, happy little boy who lights up every room with his presence. His laughter echoes the triumph of love over fear, and his story continues to inspire countless families facing similar challenges. Sarah often reflects on the choice they made, the choice to keep Brody, to fight for him, to stand against a society that sometimes sees only differences. She knows that had they chosen otherwise, the world would have been robbed of the little boy who now brings so much joy not only to his parents but to strangers everywhere who hear his story. And that is perhaps the greatest lesson of all. Beauty is not defined by perfection, but by love, resilience, and the courage to choose life even when it is difficult. As Sarah once put it, obstacles are meant to be overcome, and Brody's life, from his very first breath, has been a living proof of that. So the next time you hear someone say honesty is the best policy, think of Sarah and Chris, who refused to hide their son. Think of Brody, who faced the world with a smile stitched together not just by surgeons' hands, but by the unwavering love of his parent. And remember this, sometimes the hardest choice is also the most beautiful one. And so, what began as a doctor's warning and a difficult choice turned into a journey of courage, love, and resilience. Brody's smile, once thought to be impossible, now lights up every room he enters, reminding everyone who sees him that beauty is not about perfection, but about spirit. His parents' decision to fight for him, to cherish him, and to show him proudly to the world has left behind a message far greater than their own story, that every life has value, that love conquers fear, and that even the smallest child can inspire the biggest change.